The party has just been unceremoniously tossed through the doors of a giant cathedral, which, since all of you have been here for a while, you'd all know that. What is going through everyone's minds? You just came flying in here. It's pretty hectic. I would assume you guys are feeling pretty spooked.
Spooked?
Ow.
That's right, you just got chucked into a wall.
Yeah.
Nay.
So, I'm still definitely reeling from just getting launched into a wall.
Yeah.
Maybe grabbing my head a little bit. I don't know, it's kind of like...
Yeah, I'll probably drop my horse form and just kind of go up to him. Sorry about that. Here you go, and I'll cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. Now, remind me, you do have to roll for Cure Wounds, but you don't have to roll to breach or anything like that,
Yeah,
right?
you just roll to see how much HP.
Breach my armor, see if I heal.
You heal 9 hit points.
Awesome.
Cool, that puts you up at 24. So you're pretty close to being healed. Okay, I will go ahead and describe what the church looks like, as I'm sure that you all have now taken it in fully. So this church is currently pitch black, save for a soft, I don't want to say heavenly. It's more like, think of candlelight, but maybe a little wider, glowing from a statue in the far back of the cathedral. The cathedral is shaped like your typical Catholic or Anglican church. It is cross-shaped. Anglican. There we go. Anglican. Whatever. Yeah, it is shaped like a cross. There is a north part, a south part, which you guys just walked in, and it is the longest part. There is not a lot going on for obvious reasons. You cannot see out any of the windows. There's no light trickling in or anything like that. And in the distance, I guess it's not super far, maybe like 500 feet, around that statue, you can see a couple people huddled around. It looks like maybe some older people and a couple young children, maybe a couple mid-ranged. And the 2 people that Ruad saved are with you guys currently, but they are unconscious.
I will probably just ignite the end of my staff to give us some more torchlight.
Okay. About the only thing that you pick up extra from that is the pews are made of stone, and there's the normal sort of decorative, opulent-looking, I don't know, fixtures? Yeah, that would be the right word.
Church.
Is there any way that I can, bring those 2 people back to consciousness with, a medicine check or something like that?
So, actually, you try to interact with them, and they're completely unresponsive.
Uh-oh, are they alive? Can I tell that?
It seems like they're alive. They seem to be breathing, but they are very unresponsive, and when you touch them, they actually feel a little cold.
Okay.
I say a little, but I should say unusually.
Yeah. I guess I'll just say, Mercury, do you think you're able enough to carry these 2?
Of course. I gotta pick them up.
Okay.
Do I need to do
Are you trying to pick both of them up?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to need a strength check for that one.
Alright. Hacha. 20.
Yeah, you scoop them up. And you sort of start trudging your way. I don't know, where are you taking them?
Ruad, where am I going with these guys?
Well, there's a few people over there, so why don't we make our way over there ourselves?
Got it.
Okay.
I head towards those people.
Okay. So you walk through the church, and go ahead and make a perception check, everyone,
Why?
as you're walking through.
I'm not walking.
Oh, shoot.
Stop throwing dice at
I'm
me.
sorry.
Well, this is just a general perception check, then.
Roll that again.
As
so
you
it
are
says-
checking out the church.
That was worse. Okay, I got a 4.
Okay, a
I did
4.
a 2.
I got an 11. But I turned Ethan's into a 1.
Passive perception.
No, I want you actively perceiving.
Well, with the +6, I got a 7.
Ah, yeah,
Wait,
that's a
where's
1.
we have a modifier?
Yeah.
That's your perception.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a 12.
Alistair, how'd you do on that?
14.
14? Okay, Norfire, you said you actually got a 12?
Yeah.
Okay, so Norfire and Alistair, you realize it seems like the people are sort of moving around up by the statue that's lit up, but when they should be making sound, there's none. And you also realize that you're not making any sound, except for when you talk. It's oddly muffled. And Ruad and Mercury, you notice absolutely nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, because I'm holding 2 people over my shoulders. I'm a little preoccupied.
And I
Right.
feel like I'm still probably doing some, like, checking the eyelids and, like, looking at the pupils and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Right, so Alistair and Norfire, what are you doing?
Well, as soon as we walked into the church, I pulled out my notebook and pens or pencils or whatever, and I've just been trying to write
Quills?
down quills.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
gnomes have pencils.
Okay.
It's
No, actually, I
True.
like that a lot. Never mind. Yeah.
like wooden pencils.
Yeah.
Like part of a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to frantically sketch these monsters that we just faced and how they responded and write everything down. And so when I notice that the sound is quiet, I kind of look up and I'm like, that's odd, and go right back to scribbling.
Weirdly quiet in here.
I like it.
Alistair?
I don't know. That's just trying to look outside or whatever.
Okay, yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. As Mercury and Ruad make their way up to the statue, when they cross into the center part of the cathedral, they disappear from sight. And you don't see them again until they step up next to the statue.
So, do we notice that we disappear?
If you were to turn around, you would notice that Alistair and Norfire did just disappear from your sight.
Well, I'm probably not going to notice that because I'm still trudging towards the statue, so...
Would I have noticed that with, my passive perception? Or am I still
You would have
seeing
noticed something weird, but there's something much more pressing that takes your attention, and it is as soon as you have crossed into that centerpiece, Mercury, you can no longer hold the people. They phase straight through you.
What?
Are you seeing this?
Do they just, fall to the floor?
Straight to the floor. No sound as they hit the ground.
Well, that can't be good for their health.
That thing just passed through me.
That's peculiar.
What, are you playing a trick on me?
No, I'm very confused myself. Can I touch them?
You try, and you just swipe straight through.
Asks the god in the sky. Can I?
Hey guys, DM here. You can't.
Yeah, at that point, I'd probably look around and see what's going on. So I noticed that Alistair and Norfire are gone as well.
Yeah. Okay. It is at this moment that you two, the light in the statue sort of separates from the statue, and you get sort of this intense feeling that you need to follow it.
Wait, who's you two?
That would be Mercury
Okay.
and Ruad.
I don't know about you, but I feel like we need to follow this.
Yeah. Except I don't like the fact that points to the bodies just happened and then that just happened.
The sensation that you need to follow it gets stronger.
I puke.
Like on command? Is that your defense reaction right here?
No.
Okay.
Fine, I'll follow it.
You two begin moving towards that, and now back to Norfire and Alistair. You have noticed them disappear.
Let's go find out why they disappeared.
Okay. Alistair, are you going as well, or are you just...
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay. As soon as you walk into that center part, it's instantaneous. You feel this. You see the scene, but it's almost like you're not seeing it. You are immediately overwhelmed by this desire to follow the light. But you do sort of take in subconsciously. There's people lying on the floor. There's people grouped around the statue, and Mercury and Ruad are just kind of walking, sort of like, it's kind of like a weird shuffle walk where they're very clearly transfixed on the light. And the sensation ends when you get to the statue. There is sort of like a glimmer over the area, and then the light descends through the floor, and almost like a mirage, spiraling around the statue's base and down into the ground, fades away the stone and leaves a staircase in its place. And you have fully regained your senses at this point.
You said there's people around here, right?
Yes.
Did they disappear?
No, they're still there.
Can I...
Interrupt.
Hello?
None of them move.
Can I
Or,
go up?
let me rephrase. None of them move in response to what you said. They are still moving and interacting with one another.
Can I just like wave my hand in front of them, see if they react?
Their pupils don't even dilate.
Can I poke them?
Hand goes straight through.
This is really disconcerting. I guess we should head downstairs. I don't see much else we can do.
Or, hear me out. We leave the church. It's clearly haunted.
Did you forget about the part where everything's gone?
Yeah.
So we have two options. We go downstairs or we go back into that black fog.
Stairs sound pretty nice to me.
Fine.
I choose going outside.
Well, if the Jester's going...
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to kill 2 characters in one night.
Wait, 2?
To remind you guys, when people were hit by the fog, they started screaming before eruptively stopping once the fog consumed them. Or black
They
wind.
did.
Fun.
So
Sounds like
I guess you let, just in case it wasn't clear enough, if you go outside, you will die.
and
It's a college student's dream.
Yeah, we all hope for our black winds to come someday. We all hope.
Okay, let's just go down the stairs.
Just drag us. Literally
Yes, I will drag you down the stairs.
Just start pushing on my legs and I'll be like, oh.
I'll allow it.
I'm gonna kick
Northfire-
Mercury in the knees.
Northfire drags Alistair and Mercury down the stairs behind Ruad. And when you get down under there, it's a pretty normal looking catacomb. I don't know if you all know what that looks like, but it's like sectioned arched ceilings. So there's like, it's kind of like a half dome for the ceiling, then in a square room, there's pillars dividing the sections of the catacomb. So there's a good bit there. But when you get down there, the cobbles light up just going straight down. Not down, forward. So straight forward to a door with that same sort of weird glimmer.
And
Can
to
we
the
touch
door
it?
we go.
You can touch the, yes, you can touch the floor.
Well, like the glimmer, but it's like in the floor.
It's there. That's the best way. The cobbles are not glowing, but the glimmer is like a part of them.
But
It
it's not
doesn't-
like there's glitter that I can pick up.
No, you cannot
Okay.
pick up glitter. Also, if you did, your character would be stuck with that on them forever.
Excellent.
Okay. And as you follow down that, you're kind of looking around, and the things that are underneath here are... Oh, well, let's play D&D for a second. Make a history check.
Who?
Everyone.
Everyone, if you want to... So there's more of these fixtures, like kind of like what you would see
19.
upstairs.
16.
19.
19.
16.
5.
5. Rough.
I rolled a 3.
I have a +7.
I just got an 18.
Oh wait, that might be from
+1.
modified from last time.
Oh, you're right.
I think it was only like a +1 bonus, so it should be +6. So still pretty high.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
Alistair.
21.
Wow. Okay, so everyone but Ruad, who is the second most likely to have actually known this stuff.
I'm very distracted right now.
He's
No,
thinking
that's
about
fair.
the people.
Yeah.
I am.
You got
probably
ghost
in
people
shock.
upstairs, and a city is gone, and people screamed and died,
And
and
he
you
spent
fought
his whole life here.
a clay man of fire, or
know
a
what?
fireman of clay.
Just going back, I'm probably in shock.
He's probably in shock.
Also, he's old.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, just because I'm old does not mean I have bad memory.
Bet.
I am a wise old man.
Okay.
I'm just very distracted.
Okay.
Probably in shock.
Okay.
Okay.
These are all scenes from the Great War, the War of Heroes and Demons, that I may not have ever explained on this podcast. So the Great War was a war that was fought between the hosts of the damned, which were led by daemons, who are the divines of the underworld, and it was against the mortal races who joined the heroes. And heroes, in D&D speak, are characters who were the equivalent of level 20 or beyond player characters. So, like, countries rise and fall by their will. They were incredibly powerful. And the first conflict was brought about by the heroes' side, if you will. There were no real sides at the time that this happened. What occurred was a paladin in service to a lord in a city that the name is no longer remembered. It's far, far gone. But what happened is he found out that the council was making deals with daemons. And so he slew the daemons that had been consorting with the council and then imprisoned the counselors. And as word began to spread of what had happened, it quickly began a time of witch hunts, of fear, uncertainty, and it also brought about the divide of the mortal races. There were races who sort of resembled daemons that were ostracized because of this, and also just in a weird occurrence, there were some who were also banished, mass imprisonments. There was this huge schism, and they were like the tieflings, the gnomish and dark elf races, primarily were the ones who suffered under the hands of the other mortal races, and they ended up allying themselves with the daemons as a result. The war dragged on for 50 years, and for each year that it continued, the people of Wayne Nadir became more and more disillusioned by it. Those who had sided with the heroes originally began to hate them, and those who were allied under the daemons began to think them truly evil. No one really knows how the war ended. It just did. It was almost overnight. All of a sudden, the soldiers woke up to find out they had received orders to go back to what was left of their homes. The fighting was over. And there was no one who wanted to continue the fighting, so it just stopped. The daemons disappeared from the realm, and to no one knows where. And the heroes sought out reclusive places to quietly die in some cases. People would continue to seek them out for many years afterwards in very, very remote parts of the wilderness, but very soon they began to fade from memory, and the story only lives on as a tale to tell children and maybe historians to look at as a metaphor for what the world could become. So that's the whole history of the war that you guys are now seeing. But definitely more prominently featured are the heroes. Or heroics, or villains, honestly. Depends on how you perceive the war. So as you walk through there, you're seeing all this. You get to the end, and there is this door that it's kind of like iron, but it's shiny like steel. Because, iron is not very shiny, but this is pretty shiny stuff. It is not careworn like any of the stuff that you would normally see underground that's been there for ages. And it's also softly glittering. And as you're looking at it, words slowly etch into it. And they are in, first, a language that none of you would recognize, because I made it up. Ha! It's important later. Make note of this.
Got it.
Yeah, no, first they appear in a language that is unfamiliar to all of you. And then underneath them appear 3 words. Forward or back.
Are these the instructions to open the door?
I hit him in the knees again.
Ow!
Oh, man.
Could you stop that?
No.
The words begin to glow. Forward or back.
I think we're meant to make the choice.
I don't know about you guys. I've always preferred to go forward. So I'm gonna go forward.
As soon as you say that, you disappear from sight for the others.
Well, that's interesting, and I'd like to know what happened. I'll go forward as well.
And Norfire is gone.
You know, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. This is really disconcerting.
I say forward.
And Ruad is gone.
Alright. I'll follow too, I guess. I mean,
The word forward glows, and it's almost like the door is questioning you.
let me through! Push back a little bit. Stress starts like raining.
The word forward is glowing very brightly.
Okay, so I go through the door.
Okay, you disappear from sight.
Whose sight?
The camera, your mindset. Viewers, if you are watching this like a movie, they have all just disappeared from your sight
You
to
know
a
what'd be
place
really funny?
that only I know.
Is
Yeah,
if,
what?
like, Alistair got transported outside and died.
Yeah, it was really confused, so it was like, oh, back! And got rid of you.
Why?
No.
Dang it.
The room that you have all just found yourselves in now is... There is no door behind you. Where, like, if you had just gone straight through, you would expect the door to be right behind you, but it's not there. There's no perceivable door. You are in, it would almost look like a well. It is a circular room built of cobbles, and it rises high up into the air, where, oddly enough, you can make out some stars. But they're not any constellations that you know them as they are today. You know, they're similar, but different. There's some stars where you wouldn't expect to see them, and then stars that are always there or not. But far more pressing than that is a table about waist high, so about Norfire high.
I'll fight you.
Actually, it'd be higher than Norfire high. Because it'd be about 3 feet off the ground. So there's a table about 3 feet off the ground, and there are pendants on it. They are not really rough cut, but definitely not refined. Sort of like a crystal. And just before them is a bright, sparkling mass. So, 4 appear. I expected more? No slight to you, of course. It's not that I think you're lacking. I just meant in a very literal quantity sort of sense. I expected more.
Well, sorry.
Oh, you're quite all right, dear. I'm sure it's probably not your fault. Of course, it's not my fault either. I simply expected and was disappointed. It's quite all right.
He's disappointed in who lays before her.
No, baby. It's okay. You don't need that. there's no need to worry. This is all fine, perfectly fine. You've been called here for a great and important destiny. Some would even say you've been called here for the fate of the world.
Alex gives like this like sniff of like, yeah, right.
No, it's all true, I promise. I would never deceive one such as yourself, who the hand of destiny clearly has touched. I mean, just look at this man with his impressive physique. And she gestures to Ruad.
Mercury rolls his eyes.
It takes a while to get a body like this.
That's something I've never asked, but I've always kind of imagined. Is Ruad a little pot-bellied?
Yeah, he's a little portly.
Little portly. I love it. And the clear, raw intelligence on this one, gesturing to Mercury.
I hit him in the knees again.
Stop that.
Such raw power in such a small frame. Truly, you are a great, powerful champion.
I awkwardly thumbs up.
I glare.
Tell me, do you all know of the goddess Aeon?
I don't know. Do I?
Do we?
Yes, she's
I do.
She's like the capital deity. I released a thing for you guys. I sent you the link.
Well, I just want to know what my character knows.
Oh no, yes, Aeon is a well-known deity.
It was just like a genuine question whether or not my character would know. So
Yeah, you all know who Aeon is. She's the goddess of legends and time. She doesn't often meet with mortals, but in the time she does, well, it's not always great for the mortals.
She saved my life.
She did save Norfire's life, so there is that.
I have heard of her.
Oh, I know. I'm such a celebrity.
Wait. You're them.
Aeon, yes, I am Aeon. Goddess of time and legends. All-powerful, glowing mass of sparkles.
oh, that's pretty cool.
I'd say. Well, some people call it a glimmer. I prefer the term sparkle.
Alright. I don't remember asking, but okay.
So, oh. You do not ask of a goddess. She
My bad.
tells. And I
Okay.
have much to tell all of you. You see, you all have been chosen for, as I have mentioned, a great destiny that some might even call the fate of the world.
Okay, Boomer.
The glimmer turns red, and suddenly you find yourself unable to speak. I'm actually very young for a goddess. Thank you. I am still in what we would call my prime.
But I'm pretty old for a dwarf.
That's lovely. Now, I have something important that you all must do. It's fate of the world, that sort of thing. I need you to pick up these stones. Can you do that for me?
If it were important, why didn't you get to the chase?
I don't think I like this one either.
Can I roll an insight check?
You can roll an insight check.
Okay.
What are you inciting?
Just to make sure that this isn't a trick of any kind.
You're gonna have to explain to me how, like justify to me how would Ruad know if it's a trick? I'm confused as to what you're trying to investigate here.
Just like the tone of her voice and tell if she's trying to deceive us in any way.
Okay.
Kind of like
Yeah, would you roll?
that. 16.
Okay, with a 16, you can tell she has been genuine about what she's asked you to do. Because it does not appear malicious.
Can I roll insight too?
Yeah, you can absolutely roll insight.
18?
18.
I think, yeah.
Norfire, you have met with Aeon before.
Mm-hmm.
This Aeon is nothing like you remember her.
Yeah.
That the tone, the presence even, she did not appear to you as a sparkle or a glimmer when you first met her.
Mm-mm. I mean, it was like a white light.
Yeah. So the collar is the only thing similar right now.
Okay.
Because the glimmer is a whitish light.
Yeah, no, I know, but I don't know what to do with that.
But you just know.
How would you react to knowing this information? Try to think of it
Just
that
kind
way.
of confused.
Maybe jot something down in your notebook.
I've been doing that the whole time.
Right. Foolish of me to think you wouldn't have already written this down. Okay, so seeing your sort of general consent, Aeon speaks up again. Then just go ahead and, well, pick them up, I suppose. There, you'll understand. And then once you've done that, follow me. And it fades through one of the walls, and a doorway appears where she went through. And you can sort of see in the other room what looks like a big stone structure.
Well, I'm gonna go pick up my pendant, I guess.
Okay, as you walk up to the table... Oh, shoot, here's a question that I've now made. No, I got this. As you walk up to the table, it shrinks to the exact right height to be at where you would just stick out your hand. And one of the pendants on the table starts glowing. And with your insight check of 18, I'm going to allow that to carry over to this. This is the collar you remember from speaking to Aeon. This is the presence you remember. And the pendant, as you approach it, etched inside of it somehow, like it is flawless, seamless. This has never been cracked open. It's never been cut. Inside it, there is a quill.
Cool. I'll pick it up.
All right. As you pick it up, it seamlessly just sort of floats up, and a cord attaches it to your neck, or not to your neck, around your neck. Yeah, it's in your neck. The cord just goes straight through. No, it is now bonded to you, for lack of a better word. As the rest of you walk up to grab these pendants, the same sort of thing happens. They start to float with a glow when you approach them. They float up. Once you've touched them, a cord appears around your neck, attaching the pendant to you.
I'll probably go up last.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Mercury, Alistair, is there any particular order? Just going up.
Just going up.
Yeah. Inside of Mercury, you see, it almost looks like a trophy.
Inside of me?
Inside your pendant. Oh, no! Oof, maybe I need to go to bed. Inside Mercury's pendant, there is a trophy. Alistair, inside your pendant, it's... How do I describe this? It almost looks like a sort of wispy type of flame. And this is the very common runic inscription for, like, spirit or soul or character. It can be used in a few ways. And Ruad, when you walk up to yours, I think how do I describe this? It's sort of like, you know what a royal banner looks like a herald? It looks like that. And does your family have a crest by any chance?
Probably not, since we're a druidic family, so we don't typically have stuff like that.
Okay, then it would be a crestless piece of heraldry then.
Okay.
And as these attach around your necks, you each I don't want to say you hear, it's more of like you understand. And to each of you, starting with Norfire, it is... Not to each of you. Each of you gets something different. Like a separate... gosh. Norfire, the word that comes to mind, the idea is chronicler. Mercury, you hear champion. Alistair, it is soul. And Ruad, it is leader. And for each of you, there's like a moment where you see yourself, but like the aspects of you that you would most, like for Norfire, you think of your sketchbook. Mercury, you think of victory on a battlefield. Alistair, you think of when you performed in front of the crowd and were quite successful. And Ruad, you remember the times that you have taken charge of situations and sort of, I don't want to say delegating, but like just the times in which you have overseen what happens. And each of you are now going to gain expertise and a skill. So for Norfire, you now have expertise in history. So mechanically, that means double proficiency.
What?
How would she mark that?
Click on the skill, and then there'll be a thing that says, it's a little tab that says customize.
Mm-hmm.
Once you go to that, go to the fourth one where it says skill proficiency level. Click that drop box and select expertise.
Oh, sweet.
And now you're super good at that skill.
Super.
For Mercury, you have just received expertise in athletics. For Alistair, you have just received expertise in performance. And and why do I feel like you're going to use that maliciously?
You know what it means? It means now I can play both bagpipes at the same time.
No!
Oh Lord, what have I unleashed?
Double the power! Very excited.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She has maxed out charisma, so.
Wow. Okay,
Wait,
and
wait,
Ruad,
wait, hold
you
on.
receive expertise and persuasion.
Amazing.
So as you feel this power sort of fill you, there's the soft glow pervades throughout the room, and you feel this overwhelming presence that Norfire you associate with Aeon, and it's what you would expect the power of a god to feel like. And you all just you all feel like supercharged. And so that's your expertise right there. Also, Mercury, you heal for exactly 1 health point. You are all at full health, and you also feel like you've just had like a really good... Really?
I had 24 out of 29 hit
Well,
points.
then you're at 29 hit points.
Oh, okay.
You're all fully restored, and you feel like you just had 8 hours of sleep.
Heck yeah.
Ruad, you have now slightly accepted what has happened, and you're no longer in shock.
Everyone I know is dead!
Welcome to the 5 stages of grief. No. So,
Does
well,
that
actually,
mean
yes.
we took a long rest?
Yes, the equivalent of a long rest. Because I also realized some of you burned spell slots in the fight. Oh,
Yeah,
now they're back.
I only had 1 left, but now you can turn into a horse twice.
Heck yeah. So, you all, I don't know, you just experienced the power of God. How are you feeling? Are you kind of creeped out? Or is this just, it's been a wacky day, so what's one more wacky thing?
Well, this has happened to me before. So I'm just kind of excited.
Okay, yeah.
Like, this was the whole purpose of me coming to Nook. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, to
Let's
fulfill
go.
your, yeah. Mercury?
Why'd you have to go to me? I'm still thinking.
That's fine. Ruad? I don't know. Is Ruad a super, like the divines are real and all that, but how does he feel about it?
I don't think he's too shocked about it. Just because, yeah, he is. He does know quite a bit about religion and he has his own deity, but
Yeah.
so yeah, gods are real? Not like that or anything like that.
Right, of course. Alistair, how are you with this? Is this just sort of another weird day for you?
Yeah.
All right. Mercury? Weird day?
I think Mercury is kind of gonna just roll with the punches and is like, this feels great. Yeah.
All right. So then as you walk in to the next room that just had materialized when Glimmer went through it, inside is a massive stone-like lantern is the closest thing that you can approximate it to. Very old-fashioned style. There's a square base that has like 4 feet at each of the corners. There's a depression in the center of this base where like oil would normally sit. There are 4 pillars at each of the corners going up to support a sort of, it looks sort of like a roof. Flat topped with a big stone ring on top, which would be sort of like your handle. But this is massive. It is at least 20 feet tall. The base is somewhere in the range of 6 to 7 feet tall. And it is embedded into the ground. Like, think sword in the stone, except lantern in the boulder. No, bigger than a boulder. It's whatever. Doesn't matter. It looks like, if you imagine a giant dropping it, and it just sort of impaled itself into the stone, this is what this looks like. And the Aeon is floating above it. And then she speaks. Now that you have accepted what you are to become, the first step of your journey starts here. Approach the base of the lantern and lay your hands upon it. The back part of the lantern is like there's steps carved into the stone going up around, so you can all go up there and be on level with the base.
Okay.
So you are not trying to reach 7 feet above the air.
Great.
So I am assuming you all gather around there.
Mm-hmm.
And as you put your hands onto it, you feel a huge surge of energy. And it's not being drawn out of you. It's more like it begins circling within you. And then it connects to the lantern. And it's circling from the lantern into you and back out into the lantern. And it begins to glow. And there's a huge swirl of color. Reds and greens and yellow and white. And it's just all swirling wildly in a huge column from the depression up into the top of the lantern, and it fills this well-like room, and it reflects off the cobbles, and it just turns into this sort of the scene in Avatar where the dragons breathe the multicolored fire.
Mm-hmm.
It is like you are standing in the center of that, but less fire and more just color.
Ooh.
And as this is circulating through you and around the room, Aeon says, "This is the first of many. Scattered across the land, these ancient stones stand as guards to something unfathomable. You will have to travel to them, defeat those who would stand in your way and stop you from lighting them. The watchmen will only rise when their lanterns are lit. And so, I bequeath all of you this one mission: light the lanterns. If you want to stop this pervasive darkness from destroying everything in this world that is good, then you will light the lanterns." And she begins to disperse. And the last thing you hear, as the flames are starting to die down, leaving behind just a multicolored orb floating in the center of the lantern, the last thing you hear: "The next stop is Akhmendir." And you fade to black
As we pass out?
as you pass out. Hey guys, it's your DM Noah here. I hope you're enjoying listening to episode 4 of the Perilous Path. This is a mixture of the 2 episodes that we lost when my computer malfunctioned. So the first half was one episode, the second half was another. But they sort of flow better this way. Progression's a little bit better, and this way we didn't have to record both episodes all over again. But I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. I do wish I could have gotten the originals, but, you know, who says lightning can't strike twice? I think they're pretty good. I hope you're enjoying listening to them, and that's about all I have for you today. Don't forget to follow us at The Perilous Path. We're on Twitter and Instagram, and you can also see our link tree, which has links to all the different places you can find the podcast. I guess I'll see you next week, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. Bye! You awaken to find yourselves on the steps of the cathedral, and it appears to be early morning. If you had to guess at the time, probably somewhere in between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning. The entire city is been grayed out. Think grayscale. And that's just very obvious as you look around, including the cathedral. Everything has been grayscaled. There are a couple things that have changed besides you guys having the power and gifts that you've now acquired. There is also the fact that Norfire, your journal, I don't know if it had some scuffs or anything on it, but is now in pristine condition.
Ooh.
Without losing the old book smell, because that would just be horrible. I think we can all agree. But is now what is called a enduring journal. So it won't be burnt, it won't be soaked, and it will not age. So you can keep on chronicling till the end of time.
Heck yeah.
Mercury, you have what is called the Moon Torch sword. So basically your sword now glows with moonlight.
Even though I never had a sword?
You have a sword now. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Probably, if you do want to continue to use a glaive as your main weapon, we can switch it to that. Alright, then yeah, now your glaive now glows with moonlight on command.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'd have it glowing always, and that'd be bad. Alistair, you now have the instrument of illusion, is the technical term for it, which basically means that from now on, when you play your bagpipes, you can choose an effect to go with it, like flames shooting out the ends, or it starts to snow around you, or like if you're playing a sad song, like "Woe is me," well then a rain cloud appears over your head and rains on you. That sort of thing.
Yes.
And Ruad, you have the imbued wood focus, specifically the ash staff, which gives you a +1 to fire magic.
Oh yeah.
So you got some little gifts from the gods, and well, welcome to the ruins of Nook. Nothing's really ruined except for the stuff that burned or was destroyed during the fight, and it's all grayscale, and it doesn't appear that anyone's there. But other than that, it's a thriving city. So here you are, on the steps of the cathedral.
So, wait, you said the city was thriving?
In a very sarcastic sort of way.
Okay, it confused me, because it didn't sound that sarcastic. It was
Oh, my bad. The city is thriving.
I don't know. No one around?
No. Ghost town. There's no noise, no animals, no.
Can I go back and get my backpack?
Yeah.
Like, is it
Do we know?
still there?
Do we know where we're supposed to go?
Yes. The
Yeah,
last thing that you heard from...
Achmandir.
Yeah.
I gotta travel and go get my other pair of bagpipes.
Very important.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because they're the limited edition Glockhart bagpipes.
You're right. Fildroy Glockhart. Man.
Yeah, I don't carry those with me because they're too precious, but now that I'm leaving, I gotta bring them.
Boy, I hope he got out of Nook okay.
If he dies, I swear.
Guess we'll find
I
out.
will kill my character right here, right now.
I will follow my bagpipes.
Good goose.
I gotta
good
go
goose.
get my traveling gear. I keep it in a separate bag,
Oh, that
and I
makes
didn't
sense.
take it with me because I had a room in an inn,
Yeah. I mean, you still do have a room in an inn.
and my backpack is still there
It is.
because it's got my comfy blankets, and I need those.
Oh, of course. I would never deprive you guys of comfy blankets yet.
Yet.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone, you go and you gather up whatever stuff you want. Maybe notes from a lover that you keep hidden under a floorboard. Whatever it is you're going to get.
Oddly specific.
Probably just.
Ruad has a secret flame. Been sitting on that one for a while. Flame.
You know your hard drive was right next to where you did that.
No, I put my elbow on. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, I'll just grab like my traveling gear, maybe a couple tents,
Some snacks.
some snacks,
Some snakes.
Okay.
jerky,
Some snacks.
my armor, my shield.
Yeah, probably. But your shield is very special, right?
Yeah, it's like it just when you look at it, it kind of just like looks like very fragile charcoal, like it's just been burned to a crisp. But whenever you strike it, it's as strong as any steel shield.
Pretty epic.
Yeah.
All right.
And then it attaches to like this gauntlet because I can't actually like hold it.
Yeah,
So it has
because
this
of
little
your
hook on it.
scarring and
Yeah.
disfigurement. Right. Okay. As you all gather up your stuff, make your way out of town. Akmandir is a well-known dwarven city off in the western region of Wynor. There are only a few dwarven cities that are both above ground and accessible to people who are not of the dwarven clans. So Akmandir is well known specifically because of that. So you are currently in the southern region of Theren, and you know that you have to go to the western reason. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here all week. Etivia is the western region. Akmandir is in Etivia.
That's where
So-
I'm from.
You're heading west.
Yeet.
And we're going to do a time skip here because traveling encounters are done.
10 years later.
There's like in D&D, there's this whole thing for like you're supposed to roll for which kind of encounters you're going to have, and you can only travel so far, and you're just
Okay,
traveling.
it took me 2 years to get from there to here.
Your legs are short.
Your legs are very short, but also you weren't like just cutting a straight line. Like yours
Yeah, I
is
did say that I linger in the towns I go to, but still,
yeah.
not that long.
Oh no, like this is going to take you. To clarify, to go from the southern tip of the continent where you guys are right now to the northern tip can take anywhere from 2 to 3 months. This is a huge continent, so this is going to take some travel time. But for now, you are heading westward. And so you've been traveling for, I would assume, 2 days. Maybe in your third day of travel, if you've been overly ambitious. I mean, Norfire, how are you doing?
Tired.
It is your third day of travel. You have just made camp for the night. And as you're settling down, you have all settled down to camp for the night. Let's take a moment to talk about the dynamic of the group. You've now traveled for 3 days. Nothing much has happened, honestly. You have gotten fully out of the county of Cranny, but that was just today. So as you're all settled around the fire, do you guys work together to make camp? Do you guys talk to each other? What are your interactions like?
Well, I assume Norfire probably knows how to set up a tent pretty well.
Yes.
But I have a feeling that Alistair and especially Mercury probably doesn't know how to put up a tent, you rich snobby boy. And so it's there's probably just a scene of just Ruad trying to show Mercury how to put up a tent and him snapping one of the holes and stuff like that.
I'm already asleep. I'm used to traveling by myself, and I
Right.
just sort of whoop, 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 there's my tent. You know, pull out some rations, have a snack,
Okay.
journal before bed. I don't even, like, I haven't noticed that Mercury's useless. I mean, I've noticed, but, like, not in this scenario.
Both Mercury and I take full offense.
Nice.
Visibly offended.
So, have you interacted with them a lot? Are you carrying conversation, or are you just kind of
I mean, I'll talk to them. I'm not ignoring them.
small talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I imagine you guys maybe had some small talk before, maybe a little get to know you questions. You now probably, I won't make that decision. Have you told them about your backstory there, Mercury? Like your parents? Do they know anything about that?
Ruad's gonna know about my mom, but I don't think at this point he's gonna know about my dad.
Okay.
So I think for now I'm keeping that to myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's not something you just bring up on the second or third day of knowing people. Like, oh yeah, my
Dad tried to kill my grandpa one day.
Yeah, I haven't brought up my tragic backstory either.
Okay, so no one's talking
Watched
about
my
the...
siblings die in front of me.
No tragic past being revealed here.
I haven't brought up the fact that everyone I know is dead.
We're just kind of giving Ruad some space.
My tragic backstory happened 2 days ago. I'm now the edgiest.
I'll bring him a bowl of soup.
The Edge Master. Bowl of soup. That's so nice.
Your fire can cook.
Heck yeah, I can.
And I can start a fire. I snap and start a fire.
It's the ultimate combo. Alistair, how are you doing with your bagpipes? I have to know.
Cleaning them. They gotta look spick and span.
Okay. I expected
fair.
you
So
to be...
not being useful to anybody, not helping put up tents, not helping start a fire, not helping getting food, sitting there and cleaning the bagpipes, talking to myself. Because the more tired that Alistair gets, the more crazy she becomes.
Fair enough. We all get that way when we get tired. Okay, so... Yeah, there's this nice little scene at the campfire where you're all kind of existing peacefully together. That's... I guess you all sleep. You're all already at full health. Let's see. Night passes. You get the feeling, especially Ruad, because you have such a high perception. There's a feeling of unease as you go to sleep today. You're on the edges of a pretty big forest. You're going to be in the forest for the next few days.
Excellent.
So for you, you're excited about the forest, but for the others, I don't know how you feel
I
about
might
the
not even
forest.
put up my tent if it's gonna be a nice night.
I hate the forest.
That was weird coming from a druid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess up and call you Druad one of these days.
Druid!
No.
Yeah, that's Druad the Ruid. Oh no.
Oh
No,
dear.
I'm pretty sure I'm fine with the forest.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, no, there's some unease. Just an air of unease as you go to sleep. Then the morning comes and nothing bad happened. No one got mugged in their sleep. No one got stabbed. You all have all your kidneys, which is great. Actually, I don't know if there's much of a black market for kidneys in Wynor. Probably not. Science hasn't really gotten there.
Well.
And so you all make your way into the forest. And you've been in there for at least 2 or 3 hours. And you're getting into a part that is mostly sort of taller, bigger, deciduous trees. So you've got some sunlight coming in, but they're really leafy. They are a very nice mix of reds and yellows. Got some browns in there because it's harvest season, y'all. That means pretty leaf time.
So I'm in camouflage.
Ruad, you are so camouflaged right now.
Heck yeah.
If the leaves were low-lying. So there's some low-lying leaves, but...
I mean, I'm low lying.
Yeah. You can, I guess you can hop into piles of leaves and be really hidden really fast. Like if this were an Assassin's Creed game, that would be how you stealth. You just fall into some leaves and they're like, oh, where'd Ruad go?
And it takes me like 2 more minutes to stand back up.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm definitely like drawing the trees. I haven't been in a nice forest in a long time.
Yeah, because
Just like appreciating it.
there is a forest behind Nook, but for most of that, it's like
Well, I've been traveling for the past 2
fields
years.
for a good while. Yeah, no, that's understandable. As you are all walking, make a perception check because you're just all kind of looking around.
So is it perception with advantage then?
No.
Uh-oh.
I got a 12.
I got a 7.
Okay,
I'm
You
sure
add.
bad.
Yeah.
I got a
Oh.
10.
you got a 10.
But if you use my passive perception, it'd be higher.
Yeah, I know. Alistair.
20.
Wow. Wow, you've had really good perception rolls.
I know! I just get lucky.
Fair enough.
Well, really, I rolled an 18, but it's +2.
Right,
so.
right. Alistair, you see that the clearing that you are about to walk through, it's not very big, like maybe 5 feet across, all said and done. Kind of looks like a large group of people went through it. Like there's some broken branches, a couple of footprints. Yeah, boot prints. And clearly a group of people just moved through here. And as you realize that, and as you all are walking into this area, a orcish woman bursts out of the trees onto your left before just screaming an orcish battle cry, which I will never attempt to replicate.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Ah! Look what you've made me do. And she swings her axe at Mercury.
Oh, of course.
Such be the ways.
You're big. I'm
Okay.
tiny. I've hidden behind a tree. I'm not really here.
Roll initiative.
Wait, all of us?
Well, yes. This is battle time in
I got
D&D.
18.
18.
Oh, that's cool.
Do you remember to add your modifier?
Yes.
Where's the modifier?
It's your dexterity. It's +4.
I got a 6.
Okay.
I need this dice tray is throwing me off because if I roll too hard, they fly over the side.
Well, don't chuck it then.
I like to chuck it.
Checking it is
It's
fun.
more fun that way.
How would you roll without that dice tray like that?
Okay.
Like that.
So much worse.
I
Ruad,
got an
what do you
18
have?
that time though. Can I have that one instead?
10.
Okay, Ruad has 10. Alright. And Mercury, she is attacking you with an axe. So that be that. It's going to be a 15 on armor class.
I have 15.
Okay, so it'll hit.
Ah!
And that's going to be 2 damage. Wow, 2 damage. You're practically dying over there.
That's a 7th of my.
So she lightly grazes you with the axe, and you take a bit of damage. But it's okay, you're big and buff.
It's not okay. Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
I'm raging.
Okay, Mercury rages.
Yeah, I rage very angrily, and I'm going for a punch, man. Like, right to the face and the nose, just like a bop.
Okay, yeah.
So, let's see. I rolled this one, right?
Yeah, the D20.
I got a 20. Plus 5 is 25.
Oh my god.
Now, I am no scientist, but I do think that is going to hit.
Okay, so 1d4.
Well, are you just... Oh, yeah, that's right. You're a tavern brawler. Yeah. So, yeah, 1d4. You're correct.
It's the same for both.
Yeah, no. I just forgot that you had tavern brawler because normally it's just your strength modifier. But yeah.
Oh, I got a 4. 4 damage.
You're raging.
Okay.
You had your rage damage.
Oh. My rage damage.
Yeah, you get
Oh, plus 2 to melee.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 6 damage.
Okay, she takes 6 damage, and yeah, she kind of looks like that hurt. Maybe a little bit. Maybe you punched her in the face, right?
Oh yeah.
So you
right in the
punched her,
nose.
right? So like, there's tears springing up in her eyes, and she got like, "Ah!"
I will remind you that. Oh wait, no, never mind. You bonus action rage. Never mind.
Okay, and then it is Alistair's turn.
So I said, do I get to strike her again if I want to?
No, you only
Shouldn't we try to find out what's going on?
Oh. I'm just mad that she struck me with an axe, so I just was like, huh.
That do be how it is sometimes.
Well, I'm like jumping up and down and waving my arms saying, wait! But nobody's listening because I'm training, so.
Okay.
I just
So
wanted to provide that mental image.
Norfire is jumping there waving, no, wait, stop! Right? Like
Yeah.
that kind of, yeah. Okay, Alistair, it is your turn.
The woman's on the ground, right?
No, she just sort of grabbed her face with one hand after Mercury punched her.
If I went to take her to the ground and put her at it, not make her unconscious, but put her out of commission to where she can't fight us anymore.
So grapple.
So grapple, yeah.
Which dice do I roll again? Is it the D20?
D20.
Yeah. It's right here.
Yeah, so it's in order to grapple, the person grappling makes an athletics check, contested by the target's athletics or acrobatics.
Ah. Well, let's see. In that case, she is probably going to... Athletics is what she'll contest with. Okay. So what did you roll?
16.
Yeah, you grapple her.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Get her to the ground.
So she cannot move. As the name implies, she's grappled. So what that means is her speed becomes 0. She can't benefit from any bonuses to speed. Yeah. It would have been her turn, but she's grappled. So
She can break free.
yeah, she can try and break free. She rolled a 3.
Whoops.
Ruad, it's your turn.
Okay, what to do?
I guess it's important to bear in mind that now that the woman has been grappled, the fight seems to have gone out of her. She is sobbing, and no, Mercury, it's not because you punched her so hard.
I will punch her again.
It's not your turn! Why is violence? Why is it always violence?
Because I'm raging.
Yeah, that's fair, you're raging.
Someone else is gonna have to hold me back.
Not me. I'll set Archimedes on you.
You'll just kick my shins. Seems to be an effective deterrent.
Alright, Ruad, what are you doing?
I guess I'll just kind of like hold up my hands and kind of like slowly approach her,
Saying, it's okay. Why don't we take a second to calm down? I'm not quite sure why you came after us, but
Not quite sure!
yes, I'm not
Oh,
quite
what, are you
sure.
surprised that someone comes after you and you steal their kids? Is it a shock to you?
Oh, it's a shock that I'm stealing someone's kids, apparently.
Yeah, well, it was a shock to me too!
Well, then, it seems to be a shock to everyone, so why don't we take a step back and figure
Why
out...
don't you take a step back?
I take a step back.
Okay.
Why don't we just figure out what's going on here? Because I think we're on 2 different pages. So, let's just calm down.
She takes a deep breath. Sort of, you stole my kid!
Whoa, what?
I don't
Specifically that one! And she points at Alistair. And the little one helped
Whoa,
her
wait,
do
hang
it too!
on.
And she points at Norfire.
Hey, if me offended.
I think we have a misunderstanding. We have been traveling for the past 2 days.
Oh, I see. You traveled 2 days just to steal my little boy. It's crazy.
Not sure what you're talking about, but okay.
What? And she passes out.
I slap her.
No!
She's unconscious!
I slap her.
Nothing happens!
I smack him in the knees.
Well, I guess. I don't know.
You now all have an unconscious woman that you have just...
I slap her.
doesn't do anything! It leaves a red mark on her cheek.
Yes.
Roll for slap.
Roll a 1.
Jesus.
I got a 16.
Your slap doesn't do much.
Well, 16 plus 3. Wait, yeah?
No, you don't get a strength modifier for a slap.
What
kind
about
of
a hit?
nonsense
What
is
about a
that?
hit
It's an
dice?
unarmed strike.
It's not an unarmed strike.
Yeah, it is.
Are you attempting to kill this woman?
I'm attempting to slap her.
Are you attempting to cause harm? Are you performing an unarmed strike on an unconscious woman who has just accused you of stealing her child?
I don't think I could kill her with a punch or a slap.
He's trying an unarmed strike. Roll for damage. You have no idea how much health I've given this woman.
I don't.
You're literally rolling the dice here.
Literally?
Literally.
Literally?
You're
Okay.
literally rolling the dice here.
And so it's a D4 plus 5.
Can I stop him?
Y'all want to stop me?
You can try.
How?
Oh, it's okay. I rolled a 1.
Yeah, critical fail. You slap your own knee and it gives out.
Well, no, he already rolled a hit. That's
Oh, for damage?
You said roll a hit dice.
That's
Oh, okay.
6 hit. That's 6
Yeah.
more damage.
Yeah, 6 more damage. She dies.
Yes!
I
Whoa!
cast Cure Wounds on her.
It's too late. She was dead. Or, no, actually, she is in what is down, so she has to survive 3 death rolls in
Or
order
just
to...
cast Cure
Oh my
Wounds
gosh.
Okay, you cast Cure Wounds.
Wait,
on her.
whoa, hold on.
She heals 10 hit points.
Okay. She has 10 health points.
I want to catapult Mercury.
I don't think you can...
Me too.
I can't do it's a spell.
You can catapult something at Mercury.
You can only lift something 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it. What can I fling him with?
I don't know, there's plenty of rocks around the...
Can I smack him?
Yes.
I will not attack him with my duck.
But it's a ferocious duck.
It is.
It is true.
Imagine that sight. A little tiny duck flying at you at the speed of like 60 feet per second.
Zoom. Okay,
Um,
divine intervention right here. The party ceases its shenanigans. And the orcish woman comes to. Maddie, are you still grappling her?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have
So that
to.
she doesn't get up and attack us.
You can just let her
So that
sit there.
dum-dum over there doesn't kill her.
Can't she just like hold her wrists or something?
Yeah, you could like
No
just
one
just hold
calms
her
me
wrist or
down
something.
from my
Why-
rage.
That's what I
Okay,
meant.
hold up.
I'm not still like tackling her to the ground.
Okay.
Why don't we let her lay there until she wakes up and not be a threat when she wakes up? Because she already thinks that we're a threat.
I'll slap her.
So if you slap her again,
Oh, God.
I will cast Chromatic Orb on you, which might kill you.
It's a very real chance of it.
I had to use one of my 3 spell slots to bring her back to life. So why don't we not be a threat that she thinks she is when she wakes up? And I'll take a step back, and I'll try to figure out what's going on. If she attacks me, then so be it. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I send Archimedes to angrily quack at Mercury.
Mercury stands in, not a corner, but he stands off to the side being chastised by an angrily quacking Archimedes.
Good.
Okay, and she starts to come to. What is it? You! She's looking at you. Briod.
Me?
Where's my son?
I don't know, and that's what I
Oh,
want
here
to
we
figure
go.
out. First, why don't you tell me your name? I'm Ruad.
Rebecca.
Okay, Rebecca.
Rebecca
Why?
of Tinsford.
Okay, Rebecca. Why don't you tell me what's going on here?
As if you don't... I'll humor you, because I'm afraid that the big man will slap me again.
You hear Mercury over in the corner chuckle silently.
Archimedes bites you with his single tooth.
He doesn't have teeth.
That's
They grow just to punish him.
That's adorable, though.
You all just showed up not more than 30 minutes ago, ransacked my village, stole several children. Whatever. It's whatever. Several children, knocked me unconscious, and stole my poor Michael away. And I watched as you ran out of the town. And now here you are. Where is my son?
I think you might have us confused with someone else. We haven't encountered anyone in the past 2 days. We've come from the city of Nook.
Oh, and I suppose you just have a group of twins in the children-snatching business.
I mean, I don't know of any twins that I have, but...
Even wearing the same clothes. I'm not stupid. You look exactly the same that you looked a few minutes ago. You have the same voice. You have the same weapons. It's ridiculous. Where's my son?
Did the other me slap you?
No.
Then it's not me.
That doesn't...
The same bagpipe?
The same bagpipes.
Those are limited
Someone out there
edition.
that has another limited edition Glockhart bagpipe. I need it.
Where is my son?
I don't know. But we are willing to help you find them. Because, despite what you might think, we aren't the people who took those children.
She sort of sighs. Look, you seem genuinely befuddled. And you don't seem like the person who would steal a mother's only child. But can you explain to me how someone that looked exactly like you stole my child and killed not only my brother, but several other men from the village? Can you explain that to me?
Not at this moment, at least, but I am willing to figure it out.
I don't trust him. She points at Mercury.
I wonder why.
I mean, that's fair, but if he does anything to harm you, be assured that we will stop him.
How do you plan on finding my son?
Well, why don't you take us back to where this happened and we can find some... I'm quite good at finding tracks, so if I can find some tracks, I can see where they lead.
Well, I can take you back to my village, but I was actually just chasing them. They were headed this way, and, well, frankly, you are exactly where I expected them to be.
So you attacked us, being just you, against 4 of us?
Yes? You are obviously too young to have any children, but there is nothing that I wouldn't do for my child.
Not even try bringing along other people?
Were you just born stupid?
Yes. Mom actually said that several times.
That would explain a lot, actually. I'm sorry for... That's clearly a very personal sort of issue.
You're welcome.
Smack him in the knees again.
Can I see any tracks around us?
You can make a perception check.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Investigation?
Investigation.
Or survival.
Yeah.
Should we do investigation?
Probably.
I have good at that.
Whatever you want to do. Investigation or survival.
I'll do survival.
Just kidding, I rolled a 1.
Or fire.
It's the first
Your
good
hands.
roll I've had.
Where are they?
Well, it's a 7. I have +6.
Oh, well, you know where your hands are.
I rolled 25.
25. Yeah, for sure. You survived the crap out of this situation.
17.
Yeah. You don't survive the crap out of this situation, but you definitely perceive. Actually, you already perceived this.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I did.
Yeah. No, but...
I'm just smarter than all of you.
Yeah, but you didn't say anything about it, so that's,
Shoot. Now it's going to look like I'm copying.
100% it will. Yeah, no, you notice that there is... Not only does it look like a group has already come through here, there is another sort of path that's breaking away from where you are now.
I guess I will just start following that path.
I think they might have went this way. If you want to follow us, you can. If you want to stay here, that's perfectly fine.
I think maybe it'd be best if I stayed here.
Okay. Well, then why don't the rest of us go all this path and we will do our best to find those children.
If I don't hear from you in an hour, I will come and I will destroy you. No matter what it takes.
All right. I will accept on that agreement.
And you turn and you start walking down the path.